Yo! What's going on, everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happening? You guys know who it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, brought to you by My Sunday Rock 2000 Day. Wishing you a happy Tuesday, where we are again unearthing and revealing the biggest emerging bands in the scene today. We are letting you guys know who the emerging bands are going to be coming forward in the next 10 years. Are going to be the biggest bands out there. We are interviewing them. Also, we still want to interview the big boys as well, but you know, we're just focusing on the emerging ones right now. And I've got a great one for you today. But before we do that, let me go through my shameless plugs. So please follow My Song of the Day, Rock 2000 on places like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's where you get the 30-second Song of the Day feature to get in the know with a lot more bands that are around right now, along with falling in love with bands you used to love, getting to know bands that are out there right now that are big that you don't really know about, and also just connecting with all the fans. You also find out anytime anything gets released there. And on Instagram, we do our IGTV video series, which is like a behind the scenes look at what's happening here, and our Instagram live streams every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central, which you just come and hang out with us for now. We have a great time, great conversation. Please also subscribe to this YouTube channel, because not only do we get the Chord Progression Podcast videos, you will also get many other videos every single Wednesday night, like our album reviews, band reviews, the Kevin Figure Out series, where I try and figure out if I like certain bands or not that I'm not really that big into or really know that much of. Our special videos, which we've done like special ones on why Italian metalcore is so good. I've got one coming up about the top 5 emerging bands that I am the biggest fans of. So we got a lot of that going on as well. And the Chord Progression Podcast lives on there, along with audio from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. So links in the description below for everything. But now let's get on to the show, because I found this band. I think it was another one that I got to just find while perusing Instagram. And I listened to one of their songs, their most popular song on Spotify. I was like, dang, this is good stuff. It had this like hard rock feel to it. It also had some pop punk, like metal as well. It's just a very forceful, impactful song that had a great drive to it. I'm like, alrighty, this is good stuff. I listened to their other two, and their other two showed me that this band, you cannot put them in a box. They have a style that is incredible, and it allows them to do so many different things. And I really like their music, asked them to want to be on the podcast, and here they are today. So please give a welcome to the band Aldrovanda. They're out of Sweden, and trust me, this band is so much fun to listen to, and this interview, you're going to see all the energy that is there, and it is incredible. So go make sure you stay on, because here we go. Let's go. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast, I stumbled across this band again on Instagram. That's how I stumbled across a lot of these bands. Listen to their sound, and one of their songs, I mean, when I first heard it, was the top song in their Spotify right now, absolutely blew me away with how epic it sounded, and just the mixture was absolutely incredible. Asked them to be on the podcast, and well, they responded really quickly, and we're able to get this set up, and here they are today. So please welcome from Sweden, the band Aldrovanda. Guys, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
How's everything going over there in Sweden so far?
It's good. I mean, it's a really interesting situation right now, where, you know, Sweden is a really sort of, a lot of people are talking about Sweden right now in when it comes to Corona and everything. And here, I mean, things are kind of going back to normal, although things are going back to a little bit too much normal.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just don't care anymore, which is really sad. On the other hand, as far as I've heard, the numbers are going down, so I guess good. But we're good though.
We're good.
Yeah,
We're fine. No, we're fine.
Yeah.
It's good that you're fine, because over here right now, it's just everything is just ass backwards, because it got so political so fast. So it's one side wants one way, one side wants to shut everything down still, one side wants to open everything up completely. So you have different areas that are doing fine, you have different areas that are not doing very well. Where I live right now, today they just stated that you have to wear a face mask if you're in public or inside in public. So every time I walk somewhere, everyone basically follows me around now, because I have one of those it's like one of those like biker sleeves, so like covers from here down.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and like I'm always wearing a hat too, so all you can see is my eyes. But the mask looks like the Guy Fawkes mask, so it looks like I'm really smiling at people, and it looks really creepy. I was at a liquor store the other week, and because they still required it at that liquor store, when I walked in, I had someone following me around because they were just like, "What the heck is this guy doing? Is he gonna steal something?" But I've been going there for 4 years. It's like they knew who I was by the shirt I was wearing. So it's just kind of weird over here, but still. I mean, I've been completely helped throughout this whole entire thing, except when I had to get my appendix removed. So that was a little bit of a fun story.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And warrior style of it too was like go to the hospital, get my appendix removed, come out, and I had a podcast right after it. So I'm just like, I was sitting there thinking like, oh, this is gonna be tough.
Yeah,
Straight up warrior.
exactly.
But enough with my little foibles. I'll talk about that. So let's get into Aldrovanda. And first things first, let me get an introduction from all 5 of you. So say who you are, what you do in the band, and I always like to do this. I'm going to act like I'm like a school teacher, and a little fun fact about yourself. It can be anything. It can be as wacky as you want it to be. I think the funniest one I had was there was a band that they wanted to give their Tinder bios as their fun fact, which was ridiculous because of how funny they were.
Awesome.
But you can do whatever you want. Does not matter to me. So you have the floor.
Okay.
All right. So who goes
Who wants to
first?
start?
I'll start.
Do it.
Right, Rebecca, lead guitar together with Gustav.
Second lead guitar.
A fun fact about us is that we've never actually seen each other's eyes.
Yeah.
We just started wearing sunglasses when we came to rehearsals, and it became a thing that we should just never have seen each other's eyes. I think as lead guitarists, that's quite important.
Yeah, we're trying to have this, that both of us are lead guitars. And
It's like
so that's a fun thing about me as well.
It's like you're kind of creating like a certain mystique and certain mystery around you, especially if you're up on stage performing and you're always in sunglasses, because people are going to be looking at you, but they're never really going to know what they're looking at. They're always going to be looking at sunglasses. They're not going to be looking at your eyes. So you could be like looking completely off. What, you know, it looks like you're looking straight ahead, but all of a sudden your eyes are like way up to the right. You're like, huh, that person in the balcony up there, why do they have their shirt off? Huh. Well, that's funny.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
It's fine with other people. It's just that between us, we don't want to see each other's eyes. That's it.
Yeah. It can fuck up the energy between us.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't want that.
It was close once where they like one almost got it off and it was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
But we got in the way, like, no, and Gustav doesn't have his sunglasses on.
So it occasionally creates some weird tensions, but
Yeah.
it's all for fun and games, and it's good for the creative energy in general.
Yeah, we like it.
At least that's what we like to think.
Yeah, we're okay.
I was like, if it helps with the creative energy and it helps just kind of have this whole entire certain, I'll just say it again, like certain like mystique around your band with just within yourselves as well. It just really sets a certain kind of feel up where it's like, you know, there's always going to be something interesting going on no matter what, even if it's just the fact that you've never seen each other's eyes. There's always going to be that. There's just always going to be a little thing that people are going to be looking at like, okay, now I got to look at their eyes. I got to see if I can find a picture of them just with their eyes. But they might not find it.
Yeah, they won't.
They can try.
Yeah, they can try.
Challenge accepted.
I'll say just as long as we don't get like Reddit involved with it, because on Reddit they'll just go crazy and they'll find some kind of picture without sunglasses within like 2 to 3 hours.
Exactly.
Maybe in 2 or 3.
Yeah, they'll likely find pictures of them without the sunglasses separately from one another, but they have never seen each other. They have never seen each other's eyes when they've been present in the same room.
Exactly.
I've heard the world would implode if that would ever happen. So
Yeah, so we don't want to take that risk.
That's what they like to tell
Let's
us.
do that.
Well, if there's any year that's going to happen, it would definitely be the year 2020 for them to see each other's eyes in the world would implode. But I hope you don't, because I'm hoping that, the world goes on, we're able to get through this thing, and then all of a sudden live shows come back, and I end up, going in a mosh pit and either completely destroying a couple people or also getting wrecked myself in the process, because that has happened a good amount of times. Still fun though.
yeah, for sure. All right, is it me next?
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
if we're going that way. So my name's David. I whip the drums. That's my official title. And fun fact about me, I recently got into collecting and spending way too much money on Lord of the Rings memorabilia. So actually, I got this thing just a couple of days ago. Let's see if I can get it out. Jeez.
It's awesome.
All right, let's see what he's got.
Dark Galadriel from Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring.
She's amazing.
Yeah. This is my life now, apparently.
It is.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, but isn't the funniest thing your nickname?
Right.
Yeah, he has an amazing nickname.
Oh, right. What is this nickname?
So yeah, in Swedish, my nickname is Snusk David, which translated is pretty much Dirty David.
It almost sounds better in English.
It does.
Yeah,
Actually.
it does.
I thought we were going with Dirty Dave.
Dirty Dave.
Dirty Dave.
I mean, I'm fine with either. I mean, it's obviously accurate. So
You're gonna say I'm from the southern part of the United States, like from Texas, just say that's a Dirty Dave.
Exactly.
It's gonna have it like drawn out a little bit. But I do like the Lord of the Rings memorabilia collection because there's always gonna be something that any person kind of has like a little like kind of fascination with that they're gonna end up collecting. Like myself, if you looked around the room right now, there's like all these different pieces of music memorabilia up like in front of me that you guys can't see right now. I've got 3 separate like large posters that kind of look cool. I've got a skateboard deck that a band gave me a couple weeks ago. I got a flag I made for 30 Seconds to Mars. I got a little custom Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills Funko Pop that someone made me.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
So I got like a bunch of this stuff just kind of like sitting around. So I totally get like where the Lord of the Rings thing comes in because it's like you find something, you're just like, holy crap, that's cool. I want it. And then you just get it.
Exactly.
Your bank account does suffer though in the end. I'm always looking at like at the end of the month, like credit card statement. I'm like, how did I spend that much on? Oh yeah. Shoot.
Well, so are probably yours.
Yes, that's exactly how it. I actually went to New Zealand a year ago for like I wanted to see the filming location and everything. Amazing trip. I love New Zealand, and it was like maybe I can buy a couple of things. It's just a little memorabilia something, and I came home with 2 swords. So it's like,
and they're epic.
Yeah, and that's where it started.
Do you have the swords like hanging up on a wall or something?
I actually haven't because I want to fix the walls here. I haven't done that yet, so I haven't put them up on the wall yet.
He uses them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like cupcakes.
Up on the wall.
I thought we weren't going to talk about this, man.
Well, all the secrets are coming out today. Oh, we know.
Yeah, apparently so.
Good for
Dirty
self-defense.
Dave uses swords. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave the mystery behind that. Just like, what does he use those swords for? What do you think he uses those swords for? And everyone's going to be just kind of have their head spinning like, oh my God, what is it? What is it? What is it? And it could be just like, you know what? I just felt like one day I had a steak. I really wanted to eat it and I wanted to cut it in the most epic fashion. I got this huge sword and was using it as a knife.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think I called it.
Of course. It's supposed to do that.
Just like you said, this is the time when the secrets will come out.
Let's just say my steak consumption has increased quite a bit last year.
Your
Not
extravagant
bad,
steak
not bad.
consumption. All right.
Okay.
Am I next?
Yes.
Well, my name is Jacob. I'm the bass guitarist of Aldrovanda, and I like to consider myself the more mellow person in the group. I lay the foundation for everything to run smooth.
Oh, some bragging going on here.
And fun fact about me, well, maybe that is that I consider myself very fun.
But
It is fun.
I
You
am
are
pretty
fun.
I am funny.
Yes.
Not funny, but that's different.
Yeah, that's different. And of course, my relationship with the United States is that I'm an avid fan of basketball.
That is.
Because we brought that up just a little bit beforehand when we started the podcast, and it was just like because I've told this story to many of the people, but I'm gonna say it again. It was like when I was over in Europe last year, everyone was asking me where I was from and trying to describe it was like, okay, because it's like, okay, we know the people knew the major cities, so I'm like, I would always say Chicago, but go about an hour and a half north. But I'm like, but there's got to be something. I was talking to a person that was driving me to the airport, and they started talking about basketball and how much they loved Giannis. But I was also in Croatia at the time as well, and I'm just like, oh, where I live, that's where Giannis plays. And then it's like, you should say that from now on. Like, just start with that. Like, you know what? I'll do it, and it worked out like a charm every single time. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go with that from now on.
I'm more an avid fan of the Dallas Mavericks. I grew up watching Dirk Nowitzki in his prime.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I'm at. And
So
now the legacy has taken over by Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, if he can remain healthy, that is.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about Porzingis just because, again, it's the health factor, but Luka looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Ever since he came in, it's just like it's been a very easy transition for the guy. And also, just quick question on that. What did you feel about 9 years ago when the Mavericks beat LeBron and Dwayne and Bosh and the Big Three with Miami?
It was the happiest sports memory of my life. We can put that at ease. I celebrated for myself because basketball is not a great sport here in Sweden. So many of my friends, relatives, and even just those that I know briefly, and people around me, they don't understand my hobby and my interest. So I celebrated by myself.
We do know when they released this show, The Last Dance. Now suddenly everybody knows everything about basketball.
At least about Michael Jordan.
It's about Michael Jordan, the Bulls, and what happened during the mid-'90s. Everyone knows about what happened there, but I mean, like myself, I would say pretty much like myself right now, like I've kind of taken sports taking a back seat now. I mean, music is definitely what I pretty much focus on the forefront. I'm like, okay, wake up, I'm in the shower, I'm listening to something. I'm at like my full-time job processing insurance rates. Yep. I'm listening to something all the time in the gym, always listening to something. Then I come home and I'm working on all this stuff. There's always music going on all the time. I'm so immersed in it. It's like, okay, sports have taken a back seat. So a lot of stuff that's happening now, I'm like, wait, that actually happened? Wait, because I didn't even know that today was the restart day, or the day we're shooting this was the restart day for the NHL. I'm like, wait, that was today until one of my friends told me about it and invited me over to his house later. So I'm like, okay, I'll probably go and watch a little bit of hockey with you. That's why I got my Minnesota Wild shirt on, because I don't even think they're playing today, but oh well, what you gonna do? Cool. But I'm like, but if you ask me about something like happened like 10 years ago when I was like, because I was about 15 at the time, I'm like, I was so into it. It's just, I'm going to remember all like these very small, minor details that you would just look at me and think, how the hell do you know all this stuff? It makes no sense. But that's just me. So. Yeah.
It's interesting, like this whole conversation, you can just see the enormous question marks over all the four of our heads.
Yeah, we're like, we know what base.
Just to prove my point about basketball here in Sweden.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like my whole relationship to basketball is pretty much Space Jam the movie. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Anytime like when I was in school as a kid, and if we had a day where we couldn't go to school because it snowed too much or if it was way too cold, and they didn't want the kids going to school, I'd always end up sitting at home and watching Space Jam at least once, maybe twice, because I mean, Michael Jordan dunking over a bunch of Looney Tunes who stole other players' talents, and then the evil like ringleader of these like little monsters is voiced by Danny DeVito. I mean, come on, you can't beat that. And then Bill Murray shows up out of nowhere. It is the perfect movie.
It is, yeah.
Smoking yes.
No pressure for the sequel coming.
No pressure. Well, all right, we've done 4 introductions, and last and certainly probably most importantly, I'm not sure, I'm just going to say that just to kind of inflate the ego a little bit.
What's about me?
Well, you kind of had your...
Yeah, I did.
No, well, I'm a part of the band.
I am the band.
I am the band. No, Sanna. And I sing sometimes. Occasionally, exactly. No, so I am the singer. And a fun fact about me. Well, what to pick?
There's a lot to...
There's a lot, exactly. Okay, no pressure. Okay, I have to go with that I am a huge nerd when it comes to RPGs. And especially when it comes to computer games. And the love of my life is The Witcher. All 3 of them. Not just the third. All 3 of them.
Tell them how many times you played them.
I don't want to... Okay, like maybe I have played all... Because I can't just play like the third one because in my opinion it is the best one. But when I feel like I want to play the third one, I'm always like, I have to play the first one again. Just to be like into it. So then I play all the 3 games. So okay, I may have played them like, I don't know, 20 times? Maybe. I don't keep count. I mean, there are other games too to be played.
It's insane.
And I always make the same choice. Because I can't be like the bad guy. It's like in Mass Effect. I can't be like the renegade. I have to be Paragon. So I always do, okay, if you don't know what that is, like the Paragon are the good guys and the renegade are the bad guys, whatever. I always do the good guys' choices because I feel so like in link with my character. Well, I don't get tired of it, and I am proud of doing this.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and we're proud.
We're proud.
Yes.
Some of us are.
Yeah. I remember.
Big, thing.
Yeah, exactly.
2 cool dudes and 3 nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know when we met each other for the first time, and you were like, "Oh, I thought you were cool."
But she was a nerd. Fuck.
You don't look like a nerd. It's like,
hey, I'd say you'd be surprised though, because like I kind of have a little bit of a similar aspect with that kind of like with certain things with gaming, because I'm not that big into it, but I still have my old Nintendo 64 from back when my brother and I were kids.
yeah.
Technically it's his, but like he took all the other systems and I hid the N64 so that I could keep it. And there's one game I have for it. It's my favorite game since I was a little kid, and I've played it through probably 12 or 13 times. And the whole point for me to play it again, like I'll play it once a year, and it's like, okay, let's give it a shot and we'll see how fast I can 100% and like do my own like speedrun thing, but not like the speedruns you'd see on YouTube or on Twitch or anything, just because I don't do all the glitches. Like I'll go through and actually go through the whole entire game the way it was intended, not try and skip all these different areas just with some random like jumping sequence or something. Like I'm gonna go through the whole entire thing. And I did it this year right after I got my appendix removed, and I'm like, okay, let's see how I can do it. And I was mad because I came up 30 minutes longer than my best time. I'm like, how didn't I like get close to what I had?
Let's do it all over again.
I'm so disappointed by you, man.
I know I can feel the disappointment all the way from Sweden. Like I can look at your face and I can just feel it. It is hitting me right in my soul with how disappointed you guys are, and I let you down. I'm sorry.
Hey, what game was it? I can't remember. What game was it?
Let me see if I can pull it out because it's right behind. So it's a platformer game for the N64 called Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, that's legendary.
Yeah. You know. Yeah.
I'll say, don't worry, I got the second one right behind it too. And that one, oh my god, that one, yeah, that one did not go very well. I think that like I've only beat it ever. The second one I only beat it ever once, and it took me like a total of like 120 hours because I started when I was a kid and I could never figure it out. Then there was always this one. Oh god, I hate her. It was Canary Mary, just because it was like you have to rapidly tap A as fast as you could, and like the second time you faced her, it was like you had to like rhythmically do it just to beat her, because you went too fast, she would blow right past you. So then I'm like, okay, how the hell am I supposed to do this? And I beat her twice. One was I took a popsicle stick and I took rubber bands, I put it around the controller so I could double tap it with the popsicle stick.
That's awesome.
And then I tried doing it again a couple months ago, and I'm like, why don't I just use my fingers and just like double tap it that way? It ended up working out just fine. I'm like, oh my god, why did I think about this when I was younger? But then again, I was like 7 years old, so all I'm thinking about is pizza.
Priorities.
Pizza was priorities when I was 6 and 7. That's what it was. I mean,
it still should be.
It kind of still is.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, now I know I'm having for dinner tonight. Pizza. Woo!
I mean, we still have room for dessert, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
A dessert
Always
pizza.
room for dessert.
Pizza dessert.
Pizza dessert, yeah.
I mean, I think they like. I think a company here was trying to make like dessert pizzas for a while. It was like Oreo cookie pizzas, and they didn't last long. So I'm not sure if they were good or if they were just like really, really hard to eat. It could have been either, because all of a sudden, like, you get a bunch of, like, or the Oreo cookie filling with a bunch of cookie crumbs on it, and, like, you eat one piece, like, you take, like, 2 bites, you might be like, okay, that's enough, and it's, like, a whole pizza.
But it sounds dope.
It sounds dope.
I would eat it
Yeah,
for sure.
like, we could split it.
Yeah, we could split one at least.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I got one for myself.
Maybe we start a company here in Sweden as well.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm going to see one of you get up and just be like, okay, I'm making pizza now. Dessert pizza. and then by the time the podcast is right about to end, all of a sudden it's going to be brought up. It's like, all right, dessert pizza is served.
All right, so I'll start that now then.
Well, how about this? Enough with dessert pizza, because we're here because of your music, and that's really what I want to talk about. So take me through the beginning, because from what I was taking a look at, everything you had on Spotify and anything you could find online, the band was formed, I believe it said just last year. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. True.
Okay, so how did this all happen?
I think I can start on that one, because somewhere it started with me and Gustav, and it started with me. I played in several bands, and I had just left one of my previous bands. They're not worthy mentioning at all. And I've known Gustav for a while. We went to high school together, not in the same class, but we were aware of each other, and we know that we both played music basically, and have ever since. So this was in January last year, I believe.
Yeah,
correctly.
It was a great party.
And I went to a party, a sort of a Christmas January party, or beginning of the year party. This one at the time when it actually was a reason to celebrate the new year instead of 2020, which we have no reason to celebrate as of yet. So I went to this party, had a really good time. I met up with Gustav there, and we had a couple of drinks. Say.
So, say no more.
Let's put it at that. A couple of drinks, and we were talking about what we did. We hadn't seen each other for a long time, and somewhere there, I think we talked about forming a band, because we realized that we have known each other for a long time. We have played music separately in different bands, but never played together. And then there was no more than that.
But what? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I don't know. Do you still use that word, cranked up?
Cranked up?
Like when you're so fucked up that you don't remember it.
I thought we were going to downplay it. Okay.
So you use that word since like the 80s?
I don't know.
I mean,
no, but I mean for boozing too much, you know.
Yeah, so if you drink way too much and get drunk, it's either, as some people say, you got wasted or you got fucked up. I mean, or like I got so fucked up last night.
That sounds about right.
Let's put it at that.
I've definitely had my moments where that's happened. Not really recently, but I have had those moments where all of a sudden, like, I drank way too much and woke up in the morning, I'm like, fuck. Not my best idea.
That's kind of the situation you're describing that happened to us, because the day after, I don't really think we're talking about this, but I didn't really remember that we had spoken about forming a band this evening.
No, not right away, because it was really like you explained. It was this fuck moment, and then the hours passed by, and then it was like, yeah, dude, didn't we talk about this band, and didn't we like try to get this rehearsal studio and stuff like that?
Yeah, because it seems like one of a former friend, well, he is a friend, but a friend that I hadn't met in a long time also was there, and he had a rehearsal space that he was trying to lend out because he needed someone to take the place. So we quickly ended up with that one.
Yeah,
just the two of us. We had a rehearsal space, and we were two members of a band.
But that's
in a very, very quick, short amount of time.
Yeah, so we didn't really have this. We just wanted to play music, I guess, and like you said, we knew each other from the past, even if we didn't really spend so much time together. But I know that he was great on bass, and he know that I'm like the god of guitar. So that's how it started.
One thing I'll say one thing I will say though is, thankfully that you guys weren't so far gone and so fucked up to the point where you remember somewhat of talking about forming a band, because had you maybe had one more beer, one more shot, this might not even be a thing. You might have completely forgotten about it, but you had just enough to not forget about. So
that's true.
Thank you guys.
So,
thank you.
To all the one who's listening, then drink responsibly. Don't take that last one that you forget everything, but almost.
Just think how many bands could have been. What are we missing right now?
What the fuck, man? Yeah.
Well, not Aldrovanda. We can thank alcohol.
Yeah.
We should.
And from there, we, of course, needed more members. So we were just, reaching for some threads, looking for people, talking about people that we know from the past. We were putting up some posters, but without basically any no good results, at least at all. So I think it was you that cracked the idea that about David.
Yeah, because that's a funny thing. But David has this from the past. He used to have this I don't remember the name right now.
I still have an old YouTube account that I haven't been too active the last couple of years, but I was really active during like between 2008 to 2011 or something, where I made drum covers of mostly Slipknot, Lamb of God, a couple of other metal things that sort of blew up during that time. It was really weird. I think I actually got featured on like I think it was like Roadrunner Records YouTube channel or something. And from nowhere, I was the #1 most subscribed YouTuber in Sweden. It was just this real, it was a really weird thing. You can check it out if you want to see my old videos and see me where I'm like 14 to 17 and just smacking or thinking I was smacking the shit out of my drums.
I'll say what's the name of the YouTube channel, because I'm gonna pull it up right now so I don't forget about it, because I really want to see this
for sure. Yeah, Joey Jr. 15. It was not at all a reference to Joey Jordison from Slipknot. It had nothing to do with him at all, actually. So yeah, Joey Jr. 15 on YouTube. Yeah,
I'm taking a look. I'm taking a look just to see if I can find an older one. Is there one that really kind of sticks out to you? Oh, I think I found one just to...
I mean, pretty much, I think 90% of them are from way back.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Like, take a look at your face now versus then.
Quite a transition.
Yeah, I think we're all happy about the transition.
like what were you thinking, like, with that facial hair, man?
It
looks like the Star Wars Rebel symbol, like, around your chin.
It's awesome.
I actually hadn't thought about that, and God, never have I been so offended by something I 100% agree with.
Oh my God. And then not only that, but like taking a look at the hair too, it's like the long black flowing hair, and not even that, but like taking a look at it, it looks like the hairline's like even going further back, and then taking a look at you now, it's like you got this like full beard, full mustache, hair's shorter, looks a lot fuller from this angle as well. It's looking at, I don't know how big that is on my screen, like 2 inches maybe.
Yeah.
But it's just, it stands out. I'm like, okay, like you can definitely tell the transition from there to there as well. And let's take a look, and I'm going to go a little bit further because I think this is your Lamb of God Laid to Rest cover. So I'm going to take a look and kind of watch you. Oh, yeah, you can see the hair flying all over the place.
Yeah.
Seeing a good amount of double kicks, which of course I'm a big fan of the double kicks as well. So
yeah,
take a look at this already, and you were the top YouTuber in Sweden during this time. So that's an insane thing to have. I'm surprised you didn't use that as your little fun fact instead of being Dirty Dave.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
So either way, you talked about this. You had some kind of a memory of. Didn't we watch this guy Joey Jr. at one point?
Exactly, and that was so long before or how the fuck you.
So
said.
we did just exactly what you did now and looked up at the videos about. Oh, is he still going? Could we get in touch with him?
Mm-hmm.
And so you did.
Yeah, so we sent him an email, and he actually responded, and that's how we met. This little Dirty Dave.
Dirty Dave.
And then the drummer positions were set in stone.
Yeah, pretty much. We had one tryout, I guess, and felt amazing.
Yeah. Were you guys surprised that he responded?
Huh?
Were you guys surprised that he responded?
Yeah, we just sent the email for fun. I didn't know he even checked the email or the channel anymore. So
I'm surprised I responded, honestly.
But we're glad you did.
Yeah, so am I.
But one thing I was thinking about too is when it comes to just sending out something like that, asking a question, especially when it's a little bit of a bigger question, like, hey, do you want to try for a band, or hey, or like for like if someone is like in a full-time job position, hey, I want to raise. The best thing someone can say is yes, but the second best thing someone can say is no, because if they're going to respond and say no, at least kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So, because there's been plenty of times with other bands, I've tried to get them on the podcast as well, and I've gotten met with like emails just never being sent back, or like because I'll go Instagram DMs as well, just to try and get a little bit more streamlined process at the same time as well, and just be left on red. I'm like, oh man.
Just answer.
No, I don't know. It's like, do I try harder? Do I have to do something different? Or did I piss them off? Like, I have no idea. But if they're just going to say, oh, no, thank you kind of thing, I'm like, hey, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So then
from
now,
there.
I was going to say, so now you got a guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer. So what happened next?
And then there were 3.
Yeah, I guess it was pretty much up to Dirty Dave. The next step.
Oh right, yeah, that was me. That's true. Yeah, So like it felt like we had a good thing going, just the 3 of us. Like, do we actually need anyone else? Unclear.
We were flirting with the idea, but
yeah. But at that time, I was actually right before, because like the whole reason why because I was playing in a band before a couple of years ago, which was great fun, but we stopped playing for a couple of different reasons. And then I was without a band. I just started working and do different things. And then I was actually in talks to play with a different band, to play bass with them. It was like, well, I could try to do something else, because I was like missing the whole band thing. But that didn't work out. But from having contact with them, I heard that one of their new members, that they had a friend who's like, oh yeah, there's this one girl, I know a friend, she actually sings pretty good. Like, okay, cool, interesting. And then we said, well, we need someone to sing, right? So I hit him up like, hey, do you know that person? Who is that? So yeah, that's Sanna. She sings. She's pretty okay. I was like, oh cool. Can I get her number or anything? I was like, you sure, man? Like, yeah. Why? Yeah. I didn't really get any sort of any inkling why that was the reaction. But then when we met her, we understood quickly why. So we contacted you and was like, hey, do you want to try out and sing? And you graciously agreed. And then, so like, it was just interesting, the whole thing, because we were like 3 guys, and we had the rehearsal space we had then was like in a really dank, old, cellar thing. It's like, hey, you tiny woman, let's go down into the cellar. It'll be fine.
Okay.
So yeah, no, that was interesting. But then, yeah, I think
but you were brave and courageous enough that you just.
Yeah, well, I didn't think that it was any danger behind that.
I don't think any of us did until like
we didn't at all, but.
No, well, I was stoked, because during that time I was actually supposedly moving to London, because I was going to study music there. But then some things happened, and I decided to wait for another year and maybe go like this year. Well, this is another sign. So I was like, well, I've always wanted to try to like sing in a band, because I never have done that before. I've been singing, but not really in a band. So yeah, what harms can like...
How can it be?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll do that.
And it was just interesting, because like I was saying before, it was just what was that reaction I got, because we had tried out at least with 1 or 2 different people before, and they were cool people, chill, mellow, and then Sanna comes and she just completely blows us away with because we're relatively chill guys. But and then she comes in and just like she's a nuclear blast of energy.
What do you want me to sing? Floored us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sometimes I am a little energetic, so
that's why we don't allow energy drinks to Sanna at all.
Coffee? No, nothing for you.
I'm not allowed to drink that. And I like one of my fondest memories is of you, because you're like just laughing, and I'm like, am I saying something wrong? And you're like,
I had a good time.
You're amazing! And I'm like, thanks. You're like, your energy!
Yeah, but it really was. It really was. I was floored, like I said before.
Yeah,
it felt like I had a hangover for 3 days just for hanging out with her the first time.
Wow.
So. But in a good way, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I totally understand that energy standpoint, because like hanging out with my friends as well, it's just... I'm kind of that person for a lot of my friends as well. It's just like, all right, let's go do something. It's like, we're just kind of hanging out here. I'm like, well, let's go do something instead. Let's go. Like, I'm just ready to go. Drinking caffeine. It's just like, I won't drink coffee or soda or anything just because there's caffeine in it. And I will stay up pretty much all night. I won't get any sleep, but it's so much weirder if I'm not home, if I go on vacation or something, go to a music festival. There will be times where it's like I might sleep an hour or 2 or not even sleep at all, and I'll just go through the rest of the day. It's just like and it seems like I slept like the whole entire day, and like I'm all full energy. It just there's just a certain mindset that happens. It just gets you going, gets you moving. So it's just Because right when we jumped on the call, I'm like, I could just see that high energy. I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
For sure.
But
So
still,
that's how you ended up with us.
Yeah, that's how I ended up with you.
But I'm
here we
surprised.
are.
I'm kind of surprised, just like with the whole entire story. With we're three guys. Come down to this cellar space with us, and it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna go down there, sing my heart out, and call it a day. And then it's just like, oh, dang. Because especially after listening to those 3 songs as well, I can easily see why all 3 of you were just completely blown away by her voice.
Thank you.
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's how we became the 4 of us.
Mm.
But then we thought maybe we should have like a second guitarist because we want a good one. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, shots
It's
fired.
hard being
I'm
on
just
top,
kidding.
man. It's
He
hard
is
being on
amazing.
top.
No, we just wanted
Lord.
a second guitarist.
We felt that the metaphorical glove couldn't just contain 4 fingers, but needed a
Exactly.
5th in order to make it work.
Exactly.
We have 20 fingers on the guitar now.
Yeah, we definitely have 20 fingers
True.
guitar, but the metaphorical glove only contains 5, the 5 of us.
That's okay.
So, how did it really happen?
No, it was in the. I mean, you don't live here, so it's hard to explain exactly where it was. But we have this guitar shop basically, and Rebecca sometimes work there, sometimes don't, I guess. But we started to talk
As you do.
as you do. And when we came there, she always sat down playing these cool riffs, So. No, but we got in touch over there, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, which is weird because I usually sit down and I play jazz.
That is weird, because we don't play jazz.
That's the fun fact you didn't tell them earlier as well.
That's true. No. And we just started talking and I guess I was insane. I don't know. I guess I was insane enough to say, yeah, let's try it. Because I was
Yeah, it was
I was
insane.
new in Stockholm, so I hadn't really found any people to play with. So the fact that I met you was just great. It could have gone either way, and luckily, it went pretty well.
Pretty
Pretty well.
well.
Yeah. That was another situation there where, like, because she has an amazing Instagram page where she just like posts a whole bunch of like guitar licks and riffs and everything.
Licks and riffs.
And I was just looking at that because they met her, and then I was like, oh, okay, let's see what she's got. And I was in there like, whoa, okay, this is
A gold mine.
how are we going to work with this? This is just really horrible. No, I'm kidding. no, she was like, it was just
Thanks. It's not only me who got the disses.
exactly. Well, I mean, together you're virtually one good guitar.
Yeah, but we
A
suck.
really good guitarist.
A really good guitarist.
Yeah. But without each other, and that's why we don't want to see each other's eyes, because maybe that fuck up the energy, like we said in the beginning. So right now we're pretty good. We're pretty damn good, but
Yeah.
it's because of all that. So
Yeah, that's the story behind us.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
The
And
story
then
behind
there
the
were
formation
5.
of Aldrovanda. Perfect. Plus, not only that, but just kind of hearing how through that whole entire story, just how everyone kind of roasted each other at some point during that. Absolutely
Yeah.
love it, because it's like those the bands and the groups that can just do that together, just have fun, poke fun at everybody, just have a good time with it. Those are always the ones that have the strongest connections with overall with the band. Because I mean, if you can't have fun with it, then it's like, oh, everything's too serious. You got to have some fun with it somewhere down the line, because I mean, it's life. Can't take it too seriously. You're never gonna get out alive. I mean, no one has.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know I took it to a really weird place. Like, oh, now I'm talking about death. Okay, that's probably not the best way to go about
This
it.
is
But
controversy.
it's like, that took a quick turn. Yikes. So again, going back into the music as well, because listening to the 3 songs you guys have on Spotify right now, and all of them kind of have a little bit of a different feel to it. And I was trying to figure out kind of like what kind of like the style was. And there's a lot of different influences in there. And especially now looking at the Joey Jr. Facebook or YouTube page, just seeing all the different covers on there from Dirty Dave. you can definitely tell like there's definitely a metal influence there. Because I mean, like the first one was like Popular Uploads from 12 years ago, Psychosocial on drums, then Slipknot Melody Drum Audition Tribute, Before I Forget on drums, and let's see, All Hope Is Gone, Wait and Bleed. Yeah, there's like a bunch of just like more like heavy metal, new metal, some metalcore ones in there as well, especially with the Laid to Rest one. So I can definitely tell there's some metal in there, but there's definitely more to it than just that, especially listening to the song you guys released the most recent, which is called That Kiss, because it definitely has more of a like a poppy alternative vibe to it, along with a rock influence at the same time as well. So it's when I was trying to figure out what kind of sound Aldrovanda had, I'm like, I really can't figure it out. And that's a great thing, because there's so much more that you can do with that sound. It just all depends upon what you want to do with it, honestly. It all depends upon what your influences are. But I mean, when I kind of first heard the Magnetize, that was the one that really drew me in completely. So just like, because
exactly.
I probably had that one on, I probably listened to that one, I'm trying to think how many times before you guys jumped on this call. It had to be like 3 or 4. Like, just kind of get in that headspace. I'm like, I'm getting ready for this. Let's do it. And that was the one I stuck with.
It's kind of like I'm thinking of Magnetize like our firstborn baby. Like, it will always be so special to us because it's the first song that we released. And I just remembered when we like cracked the idea to the song, what to say, and like it felt like all of us fell in love with the idea, and like, oh my god, this can be amazing. Like this. Yeah. Let's write some lyrics and let's work on this.
Yeah, and it's an interesting note that you brought up as well, that we come from different musical backgrounds, and in order for us to find a common sound, we wanted to experiment and elaborate on, okay, what exactly can we create? What kind of space do we have to make something good out of it? For me, I, example, come from a progressive rock background, more of the 70s vibe, and along with some 90s and 80s college stuff, of course. While you obviously David, come from a metal background. Rebecca, you have some kind of lo-fi jazz, soul.
When we met, I just gotten out of studying jazz for 6 years.
Yeah, but you do love Dansband as well.
I do.
Don't forget that.
That's true.
I don't know how you say that.
Yeah, this is going to be hard to, I think, translate, but Dansband is one of the biggest atrocities that's ever happened to music.
According to David?
According to science. So basically, Dansband, it's
like Swedish country music.
Pretty much.
Yeah, kind of.
But it's really
wow.
So.
I'd say
It doesn't sound like country music, but it has the same.
It has some kind of country vibes.
Yeah.
Occasionally, some Americana vibes, and along with some mellow, old school 60s rock.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking,
you can do your hips too.
like early, like cheap early ABBA. Pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I love ABBA. I love ABBA because I'm Swedish. I can't not.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's cheap, bad early ABBA.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, either way, it's. We might differ, but it's a musical genre and phenomenon in Sweden that many people listen to, which is.
I mean, after hearing that description, I'm thinking, you know what? I might have to check this out. But then all of a sudden, after really hearing it more, I was like,
And of course, all the lyrics are supposed to be in Swedish.
Yes. That's a must.
Okay.
Don't listen to it, man.
Then I'm probably just gonna end up sticking to my because if I'll probably put it this way, if I listen to it, I'm gonna have to listen to like Rise Against for 3 hours just to get my head back in my own space. And just start going and also probably listen to like Ice Nine Kills too, just to kind of really amp it up and just get more of like a horror vibe. And they're just like, okay, must replace like all whatever the heck I had just heard with like these darker thoughts. Let's go. All right, serial killer songs. Woo, let's go.
Exactly. Just Cannibal Corpse for like an evening.
Oh, yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just having members of a band that have all these different backgrounds in music, whether it is metal, whether it is more prog rock, whether it is jazz, and whether it could be anything what it is, what I've seen from that is the type of music that is made is always incredible. Just given the fact that you can take so many different aspects from so many different styles, so many different genres, and it's like, hey, this works out in this genre. What if we tweak it, put it on like maybe like a prog rock kind of thing? But what if we tweak this, put in something that's a little bit more metal and see how that works. Because you're well aware of what's going on in that prog rock style, you're able to know basically the construction of what you're writing, and all of a sudden, okay, let's tweak it and let's see what happens. And you could potentially come up with something that's like, okay, let's not do that. But you could come up with something that's just like, dang, yeah, we're going with that. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's actually pretty much exactly what happened, because because we can't play live, we're obviously writing new things, and we were recording this one thing like a week back, and I think it was some kind of vocal thing, and we were like, what are we gonna do here? And this is something unreleased. It'll more on that later, but so it's like, I'm not sure what we're going to do here, but we tried a couple things, like nothing's really working. And then Gustav comes with this really, in my mind, just really wacky, fucked up idea. It's like, why don't we do that? I was like,
Crank it up, son.
Crank it up, man.
fine. Like, all right, fine. Let's just do it. Just do it and see what happens. And it was like, and then we tried it. It was like,
It works.
that was, unfortunately not as bad as I thought it would be. So that's the whole thing where we try different things. Like that's actually happened quite a few times, where someone comes with an idea that's very like that sounds like that thing or that genre. It's like, that's not really us, is it? And then we try it. It's like, you know what, that actually kind of works.
Exactly.
We make it work.
Yeah.
I'd say you'd be surprised at how many times when it comes to making something like that, where it's, you think of an idea and it's just like, okay, in my mind, and if I write it down, it just doesn't seem like it's going to work out at all. It's the weirdest thing. But then all of a sudden you try it and it just sounds completely different than what you were thinking, and it works out in the end. However, I've also seen times where it's like bands have brought up ideas to me and like, that sounds incredible. And all of a sudden they end up playing it. They send it to me. I'm just like, okay, that wasn't what I was expecting. And it's just like, yeah, we just wanted to see if that was kind of what your take was. I'm like, yeah, are you guys trying, like, just wondering, like, are you guys trying something else? Or like, well, we were going to try something else. We just wanted to have you here because we talked to you about, like, just to see what happened. I thought, yeah, keep working on it, because there's something there, but it's just, I don't think the way they, like, a certain way you kind of went about it. But then it's also the creative process as well, too, where it's like, okay, let's give this a shot. If it doesn't work, we'll move on to the next thing. But if it does work, let's keep exploring that option and keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So-
but we have that mentality in this band, I guess. We're always open to that. Try new things.
And it usually actually comes out with you having some kind of crazy weird idea, because this guy Gustav is some kind of creative maniac that creates like frameworks for at least 2-3 songs a day, or at least occasionally by a monthly basis. You have some periods where you just are a complete how do you say it? A creative fountain. It just spurts different kind of framework for songs.
And it's amazing. I mean, it can be like, oh, like I took a shower and then I came up with this idea for this song. What do you think about it? And we're like, it's awesome. Yeah, I just thought about it.
Or like,
for like
yeah, I
5
woke
minutes.
up this morning and I took a cup of coffee, and then I just decided, I just recorded some stuff. You can listen to it if you like.
And
then it goes to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like common routine.
Yeah, but for me it's easy because I know that I'm gonna show it to these guys, and they will make sure that the song will be fulfilled with all the personalities, and we make it hit together, I guess.
Yeah, and then but when the inspiration strikes you, you kind of have to hit it while the iron's hot. At that, I mean, with that old classic saying that they think they said back in like the 1800s. But oh well. But basically, it's just like, if you think about it, and it inspires you right at that moment, don't let it go to waste. Like, oh, I'll write it down later. No. Write it down now, or record it now. Just give it a shot, because you might come back to it and it's like, what the heck was I thinking? Like, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I love this idea, but I can't remember what it was. And then you completely forget about it. And you just don't want to potentially lose something that could be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, so now jumping into these songs, because right now with the 3 that are on Spotify, that was the ones I was able to take a look at and really jump into. And I do want to start out with Magnetize as well, because like you said, first song recorded, it's like, the firstborn child. It's like,
Yes.
I will never let anything happen to you.
No.
It's like super protective. So I kind of want to know, what was the inspiration behind this song? What was the writing process like for it? And what's the song all about, honestly? Because I was kind of having some trouble trying to figure that one out. I'm usually really good at that, but this one I was having a little bit of trouble with.
Yeah. Well, I would say that for all 3 songs, when it comes to the lyrics, the inspiration behind it is mostly when love isn't as fun and like romantic and happy as you would want it to be. So I'd say like all 3 songs are kind of like love and despair songs, what to say. And when it comes to Magnetize, I would say that it's about when, how to say it, like when you're in a relationship and you know it's gonna end, but you're kind of pissed about that it did end because you know that it could have worked, but you just accept that, okay, it's gonna go to hell because obviously we're not like doing everything we can, both of us, for this relationship. So we try to put both like a lot of anger, but also this like kind of like a hint of sadness into it, but mostly like how pissed you are, like this could have worked but it didn't, and like why, because this obviously could have. So that's kind of like the mentality behind the lyrics of the song.
Interesting, because kind of think about it as well, I do like what you're saying about, you know, when you're in a relationship ends, it's like, and you think you could have saved it, it's like, you know, you're going to be pissed about it, but also adding that sad quality in there to it, because even if it's, no matter how small it is, like you're going to feel sad about it at the same time as well. And as time goes on, you know, that anger could end up transitioning more into sadness at the same time too. You could have a whole entire shift in your mindset. And I kind of can relate to that more on a personal level, actually, with some like stuff I was going through before I started this whole entire thing, which actually kind of was the reason why I started this whole entire thing, so I could forget about a lot of that stuff. Yeah. And I'm just like, dang, that actually worked out pretty good. But like kind of hearing about that, like it's something that I can easily relate to, where it's like that love and despair kind of sense. So no wonder why I picked up on this song so much. See, I knew there was something about it. I just didn't know what it was. And now, I mean, that's an added piece to it. But I know definitely the construction of the instrumentation on the song was something that I really did like overall. So I kind of want to know, what was it like writing the song? What were the influences behind certain parts of the song when you're writing it? So kind of all about that. I want to dive deep into how the song was built.
This is an interesting one, actually, because I was thinking about this earlier today. At least comparing the 3 songs that we have, it's Magnetize, Touch, and That Kiss. Touch and That Kiss are they were, I mean, we worked a lot with all of them, obviously, but they were pretty much, I mean, the shell and everything they are was pretty much done when, like, as Gustav wrote the like inspiration, or like wrote the framework, the framework for them. And they were pretty much like, well, yeah, this is great. This is exactly, they don't need anything pretty much. While Magnetized was really different, because it's, I was listening to like an old, like we were just filming in our rehearsal studio a couple of months back when we were rehearsing that song, and it sounded really different. You can hear that that's the song, like that's the riffs. Those are the riffs that are in there, but it was very different. It was sort of like, it was more mellow, but we felt like it needed to pack a bigger punch, and so that's when we changed a whole lot of things, and especially when it comes to like the the solo parts and the beginning and ending, like we made it pack a whole lot of more punch than the original framework.
Yeah, completely agree.
Oh, sorry,
and we added by doing that, we added some of the metal crunch aspects that we needed, that we thought that this song might need to, in order to rise above rise above the framework.
Yeah,
to make it heavier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we needed it to go heavier, and you wanted it to be heavier as well.
I wanted it to be, exactly, and because from the beginning, as you said, it was a little more mellow. And then at the end, when we like, okay, like, pause, what to say, like, damn, this went so much more heavier than we thought from the beginning. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
I don't
I
remember
still get
that
chills when I
much.
think about it.
So that's why I'm kind of quiet. I don't remember how the fuck.
Yeah, it was like it cranked up during most of the.
As always. But seriously, I don't.
Yeah, we'll get again.
So it's fun for me as well to listen.
Oh,
Yeah.
it happened like that.
Yeah.
But I do remember like when we were a lot of the things that we were doing with it though we did together.
Yeah.
That's how we like to write a lot of the things, and even for future things we're working on right now, we like to sort of jam together. Like, well, what if we do? Because okay, we have this part and this part, and then what are we going to do from there? Well, we could try that. Let's try that. Well, it didn't quite work. What if we do this? And then we just sort of bounce things off each other, and usually we get somewhere. We're like, well, yeah, this is actually pretty good. So it can be quite a process of just iterations upon iterations. Like, well, then we could tweak that and we could tweak that. So yeah, but I think our goal is always to like, well, what can we be really proud of?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do remember that we did tweak a lot of things in, especially that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to like certain things that you tweaked, I think they definitely worked out. I'm gonna jump on that a little bit more of the heaviness side of it, because especially Dave, from you with the drums, that really did stick out to me in certain parts. Like in the verses, you had like at times there were heavy bursts of like just certain drum fills, like a couple of double kicks there. It drove the song completely, especially in the verses. And that's something for myself. That's something I'm always gravitating towards. So I absolutely loved it. And then just the heavier beat that was, kind of led into a shredding guitar solo that the bridge had. My God, that worked out perfectly because the fills just made the harder sound stand out so much from the rest of the song. Because, again, the rest of the song kind of goes through a lot of different places, because I'm listening to the intro of it. I just have a whole note sheet on one screen, so that's kind of why I'm like looking away, so I don't forget what the hell I'm trying to say. Because I listened like 3 times, like, okay, let's write down my thoughts. Let's not mess this up, because that'd be bad. Like listening to the intro, I kind of felt like I had this like hard rock meets pop punk style intro, because the guitar, the way it was tuned, it kind of had like this like pop punk kind of feel to it, especially because every time I remember like watching a movie from like the mid 2000s, it was like anytime any movie ended, you had to end with a pop punk song. Otherwise it wasn't a good movie. That's the way it was. But like the certain tune that a lot of those songs had, like it just reminded me of that. But then the drumming had more of like this rapid pace feel to it, a little bit harder, that had that hard rock inspiration. And then with the verses being more of like a hard rock sound, it just transitioned into it so well. So the transitions throughout this whole entire song were done really well, even including like a pre-chorus transition that had much slower, kind of a piano style. And I liked how it just changed up the whole entire pace of the song, because it all depends upon the transition when you're going from one type of pacing to another, just kind of just taking it down a notch, bringing it back up. If you're going to do that, you have to transition it well. And how you did it on this one, perfectly done. And it just really was something that stuck out in my mind. I'm like, all right, this is good stuff. And especially for me, someone that really grew up listening to I grew up with like a lot of the stuff my parents listening to, so that's like a lot of like 80s rock. So like hair metal and some math rock with Rush, of course. But then when I started getting into my own stuff, it was always hard rock and punk rock. And then now it's just like, since I started this, it's been like metalcore has been added to that whole entire thing. So that heavier style does kind of fit better with me. And when I notice it in like certain sounds and it just kind of just transitions it through certain ways, as long as it's done well, I'm just like, dang, this is good. And on Magnetized, that's why it kind of stuck out to me so well, because I'm like, I love the way it transitioned between every different part of the song. The drum fills really did work out well, and the solo and towards the end of the song, perfectly done. Love the way it kind of had that shredding style to it. There was a lot of different things going on with the instrumentation, but it worked out perfectly.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We're I think I speak for all of us when we say we're really proud of that song. Yeah. It was like you said, Sanna. It's definitely our firstborn baby. It was like, yeah, this is something that we're definitely proud of.
One of the things that stuck out to me about that song is that I just kind of gushed over the instrumentation, over the whole entire thing. But of course, there's also the vocals on the track, which I do have to talk about as well. And now making it sound like the vocals didn't live up to it. However, that's definitely not the case, because I love the absolute range that was on this. Because take a look at the pre-chorus on it. They had this like softer sound, more drawn out. And I like the way that they fit. But I'm like, okay, is this going to be something that's going to be kind of more standard? Or is it going to be something that's going to like maybe take away from the song. Again, this is all me thinking about the first time I'm listening to it, like, how is this going to affect the rest of the song? But then the verses and the chorus, just kind of how that all plays off together with a different kind of contrasting style. It's like softer, but all of a sudden, the female vocals from Yourself, they had this force out there that kind of reminded me of Lizzie Hale, but there was a much bigger difference there because I felt they were smoother, but they still had that impactful force throughout the whole entire thing. And it just stood out throughout the whole entire thing, mixing with the changing instrumentation as well, with changing styles. I'm like, yeah, if this is your first track and this is what you come out with, this just shows so much. And I always have a little overall, like, I put after every song, and this is one I want to read because I definitely want ahead. Like, I think it sums it all up, and I put, overall, this is quite the song. The thing I cannot get over is the great drumming because there's so much going on with different fills, different transition, and it just absolutely gives the song life. But then we get to the vocals, and when they work with more of like this harder and more powerful style, but still keep the smoothness, you said this overall great hard rock song on our hands with harder drumming, female vocals contrasting against that harder drumming at the same time. And it's just, it works out so beautifully. So if this is your first track, yikes, what's the future going to hold? My God.
Hey.
Oh, flustered you.
I had to.
Yeah, thanks. Well, that's actually, speaking of the vocals, that's one of the things that I personally love about Sanna. Not her personally, that's a whole different story. But like of her voice, though, that she had. That's one of the reasons why I thought that she would be great with us. She's so emotive, not just personality wise, but vocal wise, that she has such a range. In like the output and the sort of feel and energy of it, and that's something that I think all of us definitely want to explore.
Which we are.
Yeah.
Yes, which you are.
Yeah.
I would say definitely throughout the other songs. I mean, you can definitely tell you're experimenting with that as well. But it's just like that one just, of course, stuck out to me just so much more. And it was something that I was really excited to listen to the other ones going forward as well, just because there's so much that you can work with as well. And when it comes to the vocals as well, you can definitely tell like all the emotion is able to come out in those. However, where like a little bit of a difference comes in is from other vocalists kind of in the scene is. It all depends. There's not really as much of a smoothness as there was here. It's just kind of something that was really interesting because a lot of times when it's like you're trying to express like a more powerful emotion, sometimes the vocals get a little bit more chopped up, I would say. At times. I mean, especially listening to something that's a little bit more hard rock, metal, heavy metal, metalcore, it's like there's some difference to it. However, it's like the emotion was amplified, but that smoothness in your vocals just kind of stuck. It just never really changed. So it just kind of stuck out like, wait, how are you able to do this and just put out all this emotion and still have it sound so smooth throughout the whole entire thing? It just stuck out incredible to me.
Thank you.
That's Sanna for you.
And I'm actually, because there were some parts where I was like, I don't think I can go higher. I'm not like so comfortable with this. And like these guys were like, of course you can. And I'm like, okay, here I go. And then I was like, I could. And you're like, of course you can. It's like the best support ever.
Because you hadn't played in a band before, had you?
No, exactly.
Oh, yeah. So I guess the rest of us are kind of in that way. Sort of, at least we know what we can do, or you know what you can do, obviously. But it's like you're just more used to exploring your talents or your capabilities. Whereas for Sanna, it was really cool and interesting to like, no, well, I promise, this is gonna be great. Just try it out, and then it turned out great. It was specifically the end of the chorus, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the end of each chorus where she's like, that's how I sing.
Oh man!
See why we needed another singer?
I mean, you could have given it a shot. You could have tried like a whole entire like Phil Collins thing. I'm not sure it would have worked out as well as this works out here. But I mean, it would have been interesting. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like I'm gonna expect like, okay, here's our fourth track, and all of a sudden you're gonna be backing vocals out and be thinking, oh boy, this will be fun to listen to and just see how it all works out. But I mean, if you're able to make it work out like you did on Magnetize, was kind of just the way everything flowed together nicely. It's going to be hard to, kind of look at that track and think, you're going to look at that track and be thinking, damn, that was good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
And well, because there's also 2 other songs on Spotify right now, let's jump over to another one. Let's jump over to Touch. So what was the inspiration behind Touch when it came to really writing the song the whole entire way through? Because one thing that kind of stuck out to me was there were some more electronic influences in this song than something that I expected, or something I experienced on Magnetize. It was a little bit different.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing about Touch is that we were thinking about making a song that you actually could dance to at the dance floor. That it had that DPM, but it was more like you said, more electronic elements in it.
What was so again, you wanted to make something that, people could dance to more instead of, try and run into each other and put each other on the floor
instead of doing that, they could do that.
Yeah, we were
going like this
in the first,
and going
I don't
crazy.
know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say that in the first iteration, it more had a sound of it has more of a trap beat to it, because as I believe, you wanted to explore that kind of beat because you wanted this sort of specific rhythm, and you wanted to make show of the guitar whammy to switch between the octaves.
Yeah, we used the whammy in that song. I forgot about that, and that's the coolest thing about that song. But
because you wanted this kind of.
But I guess we wanted it, and we wanted it to be more dancey. But yeah, it's true, and like we said before, we have an idea, we take it to a rehearsal studio, and we put it together, but I mean, the main focus on that one from the beginning was absolutely that it should be more of a dance song, but still be this
I think
rock
that's
and roll
bullshit.
Touch.
I think it's just.
What the?
I think basically what happened was you bought a new pedal and you wanted to base an entire song around that pedal.
Okay, I'm doing my best to make it interesting, but that's pretty much what it was. Yeah. I like to use my
But it is a
whammy
good
pedal.
dance track.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a good dance track.
Yes.
You can-
That's a plus.
I like this one most.
Good thing we thought up a couple other things around the whammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we made a song, pretty much.
So for me, listening to it, it's just one thing personally for myself is like when it's more of like kind of like those like more dancey kind of tracks, more electronic influences. For myself, that's something that I've never really gotten in. Again, like I was talking about, like with the styles that I usually listen to, I'm definitely more in like just kind of like, consistently going hard kind of thing. And then when it comes to dancing, I'm not kind of used to like dancing, like kind of like just going like on a dance floor in a club, just like, I mean, I'm used to if like there's going to be dancing going on, I'm used to slamming into people and also getting knocked flat on my face and all of a sudden like getting picked up trying to figure out if I broke my nose or not, which has happened on one occasion. I've gotten a couple other injuries though from that, but it's just something where it's like, I'm just so like, when I'm talking about this, I'm not trying to take away from what the song has. It's just like for something like that, when it hits my ears, it's just like, I'm not the biggest fan of it overall. However, taking a look past it, especially on a song like Touch, because I'm just taking a look at how I kind of wrote it out. There were times where I thought like that influence, it kind of had a little bit more of a prominent style or prominent feature in the song that kind of, especially in the chorus, they kind of drowned out a little bit of the vocals. It kind of brought them a little bit back, which I'm like, I kind of wish the vocals were a little bit forward, like just basically kind of just switch around a little bit kind of thing in terms of volume overall, that'd be a better way to put it. However, like listening to the verses, what I really liked about them was they showed this like complete like contrast between different styles. And what I really liked about it was because you had this contrast between like the darker tone of the song in the instrumentation, and then with smoother vocals from Sanna on this one. And I'm like, listening to it, it's just how you kind of mix that together. Like what you did in Magnetize with mixing so many other things together, it just shows so much of your writing style and how you can play around with so many different things and really create something that has a lot of substance to it. Even if it's something that it's like, okay, I'm not necessarily the biggest on this one as I was on Magnetize. However, there is definitely something here when I listen to it when I think, okay, just looking forward at what the band can do in the future, your writing style just allows you so many different things to just work with. And it's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And again, like with the electronic thing, like I'm just being completely honest with you on that one. It's just that, again, it's for everyone listening, go listen to it, but take my opinion with a grain of salt, like you always do, because, well, I've had people be like, oh, you're completely wrong on that. I'm just thinking, well, that's just an opinion, guys.
But that's kind of where we are at this point as well, because we are elaborating with different styles. So many of the songs that we have released and will release will have different elements to it, as we are trying to either sort of pinpoint our sound, or if we would like to go in a completely other direction and decide that no, we're not gonna pinpoint a particular style. We want to have this open kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was one of the like ground elements, or what to say, like at the beginning that we spoke of, that we want to try to make different kinds of songs and see what we can play with. And like with Touch, it's the sexiest song that we have, and like I think that the nice thing with Touch is that we play a little with this seductive feeling with the vocals, but also that like tension brewing, like with the instruments in a way.
Yeah.
Let's just say the BPM in that song is very particular.
It's like, this one was planned. Wink.
Cool.
So it works on the club and in other rooms. No, but anyway, no. So and that's what I love, that with what we're doing, that we're like trying out, and that we're not afraid of trying out like different kinds of like sounds in a way. And I think that's a part of us all coming from different kind of musical. Like I love that 80s glam rock and like, yeah, and like maybe not all of us do, but so sometimes it gets to this like, oh, this is a very like the results of a song sometimes feel so interesting, because that we are all so different when it comes to our music taste, and we still find something we all love. Except that snooze we don't like.
Yeah. So like when it comes to music taste, like you could be expecting something like going like what you said, like all 80s rock, just having like some sort of like, you know, like David Lee Roth just kind of sounds, or like Vince Neil just like, yeah, just like something, and that was horrible. I'm very sorry for everyone that had to hear that.
That's great, man. That's great. You should join our band.
I was talking with people out there like, oh yeah, you know, you gotta go. It's like, no, I can do good like little segments. I can't actually sing, but it's like if you want me just to do like some weird like Michael Jackson impersonation, I could probably pull that off just with like the weird little sounds that he'd make in the songs, but I couldn't actually do the whole like singing. I could just do the, you know, the but that's about it.
Awesome. Next song, right?
Next song.
You know the part.
Yeah.
We have this recorded, right?
Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have a record. And plus, I mean, if I can just send you all the, you know, master audio. It's like I'll just be doing all this ramp. So I could just do it like 100 times. Like, all right, here you go. Just pick the best one. Have fun. Do with what you want.
Do it right now. Actually, I'm just going to put this up to the screen, and then you can just...
Oh, I got to do it now? All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was it. I can just do, you know.
We got it. Cool.
Yeah.
And that is the start of my singing career, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Oh, God, I've never had to do that in a podcast yet. So this is definitely a first for me on this one, as I'm always glad to do like random things just because, well, why not? And I mean, I might have to just randomly put another like little Michael Jackson thing in there as well, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But when it comes to just playing with all those different styles as well, I mean, it really sets apart the band from a lot of other bands that are kind of in that realm, or that same kind of like, especially hearing Magnetize, just kind of what it sounded like. And then all of a sudden you're going to something like what you did with Touch. It's like, okay, this is definitely something that's different. There's definitely more going on here, but it just gives you an expansive range to just go and work with a bunch of different styles that you want to. It doesn't really allow you to be put into a box. It's like, well, what is Aldrovanda's music? It's like, what's their genre? The answer is yes. It's like, that's kind of what it seems like you're going for. It's like, we're going to make our own sound. We're going to make it the way we want to make it. We're not going to try and stick within this very specific section just because that's not what we want to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
To sort of expound on what Sanna said before, of all of us having this different, origins and everything. Like that's that's one of my things that I wanted to do with like joining and making music with these guys is because I personally listen to like really a whole lot of different stuff. And for me, I would never just be able to, those questions where like, if you could choose one album on a deserted island, it's like, no, that doesn't work for me. I want to be able to, go on stage and not just play one song, just 10 iterations of the same song. I want to be able to sort of explore the whole range of what you can do with music and everything that you personally like. So that's you can definitely expect the unexpected when it comes to our future musically. What we're working on right now.
That's what I'm kind of hoping for, is to expect the unexpected when it comes to the music that's coming out in the future as well. Just because, again, it's just taking a look at a lot of bands, it's just a lot of times, they kind of have that same style through and through. It's just like, okay, flatline beat, and that's pretty much it. And sure, it's like, it's fun to go see them in concert, especially if you like that kind of style. But if you're going to hear 10 iterations of the same song, at some point you're going to be like, yeah, it's just kind of getting a little boring at this point. All right, jump to the next one. But then again, it's also when people are listening to your music, when they're when they're trying to describe what it's like, it's not going to be like, well, they sound like this band or they sound like that band. It's going to be like, well, how do we explain this? All right, we'll take this song and it has elements of this, and this. But all of a sudden you go to this song, it's going to have elements of this, and this. And eventually what's going to happen is there's going to be some sort of like an absolute base that you're going to end up forming that has your own sound to it, so that, in the future, what's going to happen is all of a sudden people are going to be like, oh, what does this band sound like? Oh, it sounds like Aldrovanda. Yeah, I love them. You got to go check them out. It's like, wait, what? It's like, there's a band that does that? Yeah, they're big. Holy shit, I gotta go check them out. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, you got people like on their phones and like just going crazy. Like, okay, look at festival lineups. Okay, when are they playing? Oh shoot, they're on in 5 minutes. Run! Definitely could see that happening, because, and especially go to different festivals as well, because all of a sudden, next thing that happens is you're going to have people that are there for so many different reasons. Like, I've gone to festivals just for one band specifically, and have been enjoying so many other acts I didn't even know about, just because, it's like, okay, I get there, my band I want to go see comes out at 7:30. It's 2:00. Well, what the hell am I supposed to do till then?
Yeah.
Well, go around and experience some things, and all right, we're going to see this. We're going to see this. Oh boy, I can actually see the Wu-Tang Clan for once. Let's go and do that before I go and see Rise Against. Okay, now let's go see Rise Against. Alrighty, what's the headliner? Oh, we're going one of the Kings of Thrashman. We're going Slayer. All right, let's do this. Great. But it's just like, when you kind of are able to have so many different styles, so many different sounds in your music, it's really easy to be able to get into your music at the same time as well, because there's going to be something there that someone's going to connect with at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for. Or,
Yeah.
Well, that's how it ends up, basically, based on our backgrounds. Since we have different backgrounds, we expect that our listeners have as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And how about we go to that last song? Was it? God, because I got to check it up, because otherwise I don't want to mess it up. It was the wrong. If I say That Kiss, okay, I didn't have it right. I'm like, I got to check Spotify for this one. So, what was the inspiration behind That Kiss? Back to Gustavo.
But it was we wanted to make a good fucking song that had a little slower tempo and have a little other kind of vibe to it, But the thing is, to be honest, because now, when we wrote the first part, I mean, I love those guys. So when I started out with it, I want to show them a good song. So my inspiration is these guys, So for me, it's not so much deeper than that. But I think we made a great song of it. But it also had this, we wanted to try it. I remember you were like pretty psyched on making this drum pad thing. So it was in the bigger picture. We wanted to try something new.
Like, because I remember the framework for that kiss was one of the first things. So like when the three of us got together in the beginning, we just thought, well, we should, because I guess all of us have different song ideas that we've been working on through the year. So let's just send different things. And that was one of the things that you sent, and that was one of the first ones that I was like, wow, this is amazing. This, I love this, and this is going to be a song. And I remember you were like, I guess, okay, sure, let's do something. And I was just like, this is going to be a song, okay? And like, so that's just, and that's sort of for me one of the things that just tells that I love all different kinds of things, and that one has a sort of this really hurt emotional feeling to it that just resonates with me really.
A sort of thin, ethereal sound to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we fell in love with that beat, basically. And then Sanna made it about another guy.
So basically, you wrote it for us, and then Sanna went and wrote it for some.
Yeah, what the fuck, Sanna?
No.
Come on, you should write it back to me then.
I remember like listening to the song, and I just like got an idea immediately for what we could write for some kind of lyrics for it. And I just think that it works for this kind of like a beautiful goodbye in a way. Like you can look back on a relationship and you are hurt, but you're more like sad now that you are just so filled with the sorrow and the hurt that you feel after a breakup, that you wish that you didn't even meet the person, that you wish that you even could take back that first kiss because that's what you started it all. So that's kind of the inspiration that I got when I sat down and just thought, like, what could you sing and give this song for some kind of lyrical life to it, I guess. And I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So definitely with this song, the one thing that stood out for me completely was definitely Sanna's vocals on this one. It was, because when I was listening to it, it was just the amount of range and different pitches that you played with. Oh my God. It showed that as a band that with those kind of vocals, you can play with so many different sounds, and just the transitions that you can work with, not only from the instrumentals, but with using those vocals as the transition point as well. Different tones, different pitches, different sounds. Holy crap. Like it just completely blew me away with how much a song like this just showed me how basically what you guys are going to be able to do in the future, and just how natural it's going to sound. Which is what kind of stuck out to me. I'm like, this is something where it's like, of course, like I was talking about Magnetize, how much I really like that song. This one was probably the one that showed me the most for the future. I'm like, my God, there is something so much more here that when it comes to music in the future, you're always going to be wondering, okay, when they release a new song, what is this one going to sound like? What was the inspiration behind this? What kind of instrumentation were they going to be working with? What kind of styles are they going to be working with? This one just showed me it's like whatever they're going to go with, no matter what, the vocals are going to be able to follow suit with whatever you're trying to do, whatever emotion you're trying to put out, and whatever you're trying to either compare the overall emotion that the instrumentals are giving with the vocals, or you're trying to contrast the two at the same time. Whatever it's going to be done, and it's going to be done well. So this was the one that probably, I would say, showed me the most for the future.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So speaking of the future, because again, 3 songs out right now, and I think that kiss came out in May, was it? Beginning of May?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
So it's been about 3 months since that came out. So between the time it came out, how about I start with this? With these songs that have come out so far, what have you seen from people that have listened to your music, from the fans of your music? What has the response been?
It seems like Magnetize is the big hit, if that's what you're wondering. It seems like that, exactly like your
It's,
opinion,
as for
I guess.
now, probably the most memorable track that our friends and well, our followers of Instagram, they connect to us via that song.
Yeah.
They find us through Magnetized as of where we are now.
Yeah. And I guess that's also one of the reasons why when we were planning to like when we had a fair few songs of like we're gonna record these and then when we were planning on which one we would release first, it was like, well, let's go with the one that's sort of has the baseline of what we are, of what we want to do. And that one is sort of like, or it's, that it has some kind of oomph and pizzazz to it, that is in essence us, and then we can diverge from there to wherever we want to go. But like, that's the sort of core in a way. And that makes me happy that's the one, that people like, or that the one that they, people, attach themselves to, that they stick to. So that's nice for me, at least.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I
must
don't
be like
remember the question anymore.
I mean, it pretty much kind of took care of it. But so of course, just with how weird of a situation the world is in right now, of course, no one can go play not many, or if people are going to go play live show, that's like for very small amounts of people, or you can't play live shows at all. Makes me angry, mostly because that's pretty. Like, I was like supposed to go to like.
I think I can speak for all of us when, you included, that we all have this sort of live venue itch within us that we really want to go to concert and we really want to play live as well.
Yes,
but the circumstances aren't allowing us to do that at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully soon though, just because I need to get me in a mosh pit. It's kind of like that. Nothing. It's kind of like that. I'm able just to kind of get lost in the music and nothing else matters. And it's just, I don't know why. It's like, I'm a little bit scared sometimes always to jump in them, but right when I get hit for the first time, it's over. Like it's like my mind just ticks. I'm triggered into it. I'm like, okay, I am in. Let's go. And all of a sudden, sometimes I end up like having to pick up people that I knock down. Sometimes I'm the one that gets knocked down flat on my face, but I still enjoy it all the more. So during this time that, again, can't really perform that much, what have you guys been doing to not only work on new music and to grow the band, but also to just basically get the word out about Aldrovanda at this point?
I mean, we're trying in all different kind of ways, like this social media thing, of course, and trying to get in touch with, with people in the business, and trying to, of course, we use a lot of the time to record. So we have, hopefully, when this shit is over, we have a lot of new songs, so we can start to release it again. But at the same time, we have a lot of funny things coming up.
Yeah,
right?
we do.
Yeah, we're gonna use the internet. So that's the secret.
Oh, you're not gonna tell me the secret? Oh man, I thought we were friends here. Come on.
No, but definitely we have some things coming up in the fall.
Yeah.
We are.
Absolutely.
Some delicious.
Some really exciting things. We're like some of the things that we're working on right now is just like it's hard to describe, but I'm just so excited by some of the things we're doing right now. It's just like this is because I've been working with music for as long as I can remember, working and playing music, and just because that's what I love. And this is like this is something, guys.
Yes.
It's intriguing.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
And it's something new that we're trying in a way also. And I just want to tell you all about it right now because I'm so freaking excited.
It's reggae.
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm not entirely sure if that's actually a joke or not. Just how straight your face was when you said it, and then all of a sudden everyone's laughing around. You just sit there, just staring straight at the camera, deadpan delivery. It's like I'm not sure if she's actually joking or not. You never know. All of a sudden, next song's gonna come out and be like, okay, what is this? Reggae? What? Oh,
yeah.
She wasn't kidding.
We totally didn't just rehearse this an hour before we went on at all.
Well, we can tell you this much because you liked our heavier stuff in Magnetize. There will be some more heavier stuff coming up in the future, and you will definitely hear more of Sanna.
Oh boy, now I'm excited, especially when you guys start releasing new stuff, because I'm gonna make sure all of a sudden I'm gonna see something on Instagram. It's like, already we're got something special for you in like a week. Everybody get ready. I'm just gonna be sitting there just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Okay, I may have actually like. Whoever's below me right now may not be happy because I kind of was like slamming my chair on the ground for a couple of seconds. Oh well, whatever, it happens. So, but I'm rather excited to see what you come up with as well. Just given the fact that again, after listening to all 3 songs, there's so much dynamics going on within the writing process, within the styles that you're working with, within the vocal range. There's so much going on. There's so much that can be done that you're always going to be wondering what's coming next, no matter what, because it can be anything from rock to metal to alternative. There can be some pop in there. There can be some jazz in there. There could be anything in there. You just never know. You never know if it's going to be a song that's going to just like basically try and pound you in the face, or it's going to be a song that just is going to try and basically emotionally rip your heart out of your chest. You don't know. Well, as a fan, I mean, you guys know me. I don't know.
Definitely
you might not know right now. It all depends on, kind of what you come up with, what you've been writing. So I'm just sitting there thinking, what the heck's going to happen with this band going forward?
Yeah, like that's the idea, to keep you on your toes.
No, but it's going to be Ricky. You heard it here.
Well, some of it is at least. That's gotta kind of still keep the intrigue. It's like, well, some of it'll be here, but some of it, ooh, you don't know yet. Dun dun dun. Should put like some like real like creepy, sinister music over that, just to kind of really build up the suspense. It'd not be a bad idea. All of a sudden, I'm just gonna see like, okay, the next song, all of a sudden, the intro is gonna be like, it's gonna be real creepy. It's gonna have like a Halloween feel. I'm like, wait, am I listening to Aldrovanda or am I listening to Ice Nine Kills? And all of a sudden it gets into something that's completely different. I'm gonna be thinking, how the heck did they pull off that transition? My God.
Yeah.
Is that even possible?
Yes.
Oh, well, it might be. I don't know.
Time will tell.
Yes, time will tell.
Yeah. Only time will tell. And taking a look at time, we've done about an hour and a half so far. We've gone through a lot so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing when your new releases come out. Hopefully get some new releases. We got 5 more months in the year, especially with a year like how crazy it is, because no one knows what's going on. Anytime I see new music come out, I'm like a kid in a candy store when that happens. I'm just like, yay, something new, finally. I don't have to watch the news and hear about how the world is dying. I get to just rock out and just have a total just like, don't worry about that experience. It's awesome. Yes. I mean, even like this past Friday, it was like, I'm taking a look. I'm like, okay, let's see what happened. Alrighty. Black Veil Brides re-released their first album. They re-recorded and everything. All right. Seven Dust announced an album. Highway to Dead came out with a new song. I'm just like, I can't keep up with this. Yes.
But it's nice to hear that people still like music because of this trend that... Yeah, it's nice to meet someone who actually likes music. And especially rock.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming out, too. It just... Because I'm trying to think of a couple other bands. Like, Formash Just News coming out with a new album at the end of the month. So is the band... So is Seether. September, I think, 10 Years is coming out with a new album. So is Fit for a King. Seven Dust. And then Corey Taylor has got a solo project that's coming out with a new album at the beginning of October. So I'm like, we're getting new music still. Like, this is still something. It's
exactly.
Even though bands can't go out and perform live, which is like an incredible experience every single time, at least you're able to hear more things. You're able to hear new things. So all of a sudden, once live shows are going to come back, can you imagine what's going to be like that first year? It's going to be all the pent up energy, all the pent up, like, especially for mosh pit, anger and aggression just going to all come out right there. But then also
it's
just
going to be
like
mayhem.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be mayhem. But also for different songs as well, just like the pent up emotion of just like, okay, we're going through all this stuff and now it's finally over. Just kind of that release of it. Just listening to music as well, especially live, just kind of being able to experience that with many other people. Oh man, it's like a religious experience at its core, honestly. So man, I'm really looking forward to that. Damn.
Yeah. And that makes me really happy too. You said Corey Taylor, obviously being a Slipknot fan. I know a couple things about Corey, but like that's I was so happy, like hearing the new thing that he did, which was so different. The whole, I can't remember the name, the something, CMFT something. The new
CMFT
song
must
with the
be
video.
stopped. Yeah.
Exactly. It was so different. And that, speaking of, what we're doing, we're trying to do different things. I was like, wow, awesome that people are thinking, not only taking this time when, we can't be out in public in the same way, they were using this time to explore creativity and doing something different. And the fact that it's as good as it is as well is like, awesome. This is what we want, right?
Yeah, when I first saw it came out I think it was a couple days ago, I'm like, okay, let's go check it out. Because when I come by, friends were telling me to go check it. I'm like, okay. I'm listening. All of a sudden, I'm hearing it's like a new metal rap rock kind of thing. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, okay. Let's just listen to it. And it's just how everything was constructed was done really well. Just it had that hard beat to it. It had a nice fast pace to it. And just hearing like the different rap verses from not only Corey and Tech Nine, but I forgot who else he had on there. I gotta pull it up real quick.
I can't remember.
It
was awesome though.
Yeah, but it was just done so well. And then I even had the music video on for it as well. And it's just, okay, everyone's just kind of jamming out, having a good time. And all the little cameos from people that were in there too. And it's just, you took a look at them and they were coming from all different places. Because all of a sudden it's like from Rockin', I'm like, okay, let's see who's in there. I'm like, okay, you got Lars Ulrich in there. Okay, that's definitely something. All right, now you got... I'm like, okay, now you got Caleb Schummel from Beartooth. Okay, you're going to a lot of different places. I'm like, okay, now you got Ronnie Radke. Okay, there's definitely more going on here. And all of a sudden, I'm looking through the comments on the video, and all of a sudden, it was like, oh my God, Baby Metal's in here. And that's like 98% of the comments. I'm like, wait, they actually have like a little cameo in here? Go all the way to the end of the video, and there it is. It's just real quick. I'm just like, and that's what the comments are freaking out about. Not the fact that this is actually a really good song.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised at that, but also not at the same time after stuff that I've gone through. Because I made a video about Baby Metal, and it was probably my most organically reached video, just because it's like, I think every time someone searched it up, I was like, okay, mine came up like on like page 3 or something, and people just went on. It's like, okay, does he like Baby Metal now? We have to find out. I was like, oh, okay, we'll see how this goes, I guess. It went all right, not gonna lie, but it was just something that's cool to see, like, people were still creating and having fun with everything they were doing, even the bigger artists as well, even during a time when it's like, okay, you can't really do much. But also, once this thing is over, I just can't wait for the slew of new music that's going to come out because of everybody that's been writing stuff. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, let's go record this. Let's get this out there. Let's go. I'm going to end up being like, I have to make like 3 YouTube videos a week with how many new albums are going to end up coming out. I'm going to be exhausted by it, but it's going to be like, I'm tired. Worth it.
Because that's like interesting, just history wise. It's like as far as I remember, like the biggest cultural revolutions have come after big sort of public and cultural events. Sort of after World War II, there was this whole, can't remember what that was, but I actually can't remember anything. But like the biggest changes come after big sort of almost traumatic events like that. So, and this is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
So that's, as you say, that's going to be really interesting to see what comes out of this. And we're aiming on being a part of that.
We're going to be in the forefront of that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like that. I like the mentality. It's we're not going to be a part of that. We're going to be at the forefront of this. We're going to make this happen. So I'm super excited to see what happens. And especially later in the year when all of a sudden, get a couple, like a song or two from you guys. I'm just going to be sitting there thinking, we got a new song for Aldrovanda already. Let's hit play and let's listen. All of a sudden it's over. I'm like, okay, let's hit, let's go back. All right, play it again. After that, okay, let's do it one more time. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's going to be an hour and I have to listen to it like 16, 17 times. I'm just gonna be thinking, wait, did I just do that? Did I just do what I did on like for Popular Monster the first time I heard it? Yeah, I did. Yeah, we got something good on our hands here, like really good. All right, let's keep going forward with this. And then all of a sudden it's going to be like, all right, we got to tell as many people as we can about this. All right, put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, put it on YouTube. I mean, if anyone's still on Foursquare, put it on there, put it on MySpace. If someone's still on there, Tom will see it, I guess, but put it on MySpace. Yeah. Make a billboard of it. I don't know. I mean, there'd be something that I've just come up with some really wacky stuff for that. If I like, okay, we're going to put this out somewhere. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. Just do something.
We won't let you down, man. We won't let you down.
That we can promise.
Yeah.
that is something that is awesome to be promised, that I will not be let down. And from your first 3 songs, I can tell I won't be let down.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I think that might be a good spot to conclude because we've done about an hour 40. So anything you guys want to say before we sign off and basically call it a day?
I mean, please check
us out on Instagram.
Thanks for letting us be a part of this and check us out.
Yeah, exciting things are coming, so stay tuned.
Alrighty, so for everyone listening, and I've been starting to say this at the end of each podcast, but I think it really does resonate strong. So everyone knows when I was in college, I studied economics, and so I know a lot about like certain behaviors. And one thing I know is convenience is key. So when you're trying to find Aldrovanda on any social media platform, you're trying to stream their music, you don't want to have to search them up. You want to find a place where you can just click on a link and boom, you're going to be taken right there. So if you're watching the video or you're listening to the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Play, my God, just look at the description. The links are going to be there for everything you want for any streaming service. If I can find merch from them, if you want to buy something, the link's going to be there too. You're going to be able to, it's going to be like a one-stop shop where you can go and get in the know with this band now, because especially if you listen to those first 3 songs, I mean, the momentum's there. It just got to keep going and going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny, just keep going and going and going. All of a sudden, next thing is going to happen is all of a sudden 2-3 years down the line, you're going to be looking at festival posters. You're going to start seeing this band pop up everywhere. You're going to be wondering, wait, where did I heard Aldrovanda before? And I'm going to be like, yeah, you heard it here because I got you guys into this band. And now you've got bragging rights over your friends being like, I knew them first. I was into them when they were emerging. We did it, and I got my breaking rights on you. So,
yeah, you got forever VIP ticks, man.
Oh, thank you. And because I know one thing I was planning on doing this year, but of course everything that happened was I've been speaking with a lot of bands from over in Europe as well. And when I was over there last year, I wanted to go back so bad. So I have like a 2 to 3 week trip planned once all this stuff kind of gets done. And I was going to pop around a bunch of places, see as many bands as I could. And if I get a chance and I see your name show up somewhere over there, or if you guys are able to come over to America and I start seeing like, they're playing, Aldrovanda's playing. Where? Oh, they're playing in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Alrighty, I got to take the day off of work. Get in the car. Let's go. I will easily do something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just because, well, it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. Great, man.
And then if I end up it's not an if, it's a when I make it to a show, I will let you guys know and be like, hey, I'm here. And if all of a sudden you see someone like you guys have a harder song, all of a sudden in a mosh pit, you're like, okay, why is there some guy that just got like completely thrown like 5 feet in the air, 6 feet in the air, just landed straight on his face and is just going crazy afterwards? You're gonna know it's me.
Dude, I will jump down with you, man.
Yes.
Probably will.
Well, all right. From all the members of Aldrovanda, thank you for being on the Chord Progression Podcast. This was incredible as always. I always say it's incredible because, well, it is. Not gonna lie. And I never like to end with saying goodbye because that just doesn't seem right. So I always end it with this. See you later.
See you later, guys.
Well, folks, that was my interview with the members of Aldrovanda out of Sweden. And I was going to try and say like what kind of band they were again, but again, you can't put them in a box because they have a lot of rock and metal influence there, but there's so much more going on as well where I cannot wait for this band to release more music because, yes, I said it was going to be heavier and I am really looking forward to that, but also because I have no idea what to expect from them. You cannot put this band in a box. They are too good and it is insane and I absolutely love it. I cannot wait for my chance to see them live whenever that happens, hopefully 2021. But again, we'll see what happens. But I'm making sure I see them live along with every single other band that I've interviewed on here. I want to see every single one of them live at least once. So with that in mind, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys for watching and listening to the Chord Progression Podcast brought to you by My Song Day Rock 2008. We're going to continue to unearth the underground rock and metal bands that are emerging in the scene today. So you get to know about them now before they get big and you have bragging rights over your friends forever. But until next time, this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. And you guys know how I end every single one of these episodes with the big, healthy, and hearty. See you.